Just looking at last year's game, is that one you guys have next on the schedule at all, just because of the loss? And is there any type of revenge factor there for you?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Obviously when a team comes and Camp Randall especially, beats you on your home field, you want to, go return the favor. What I'm saying, rightfully so. So we're excited for it. Obviously, we've been waiting on this for a long time, so we're excited.
Muma didn't say too much about it, but he kind of remembered them stomping on the W. Does that sit in the back of your mind as well?
I didn't see that, but obviously if Muma noted it, then it's noted for me too.
You guys dominated that game from a stat perspective, almost outgained them 2-1, held the ball for 38 minutes.
Right.
But it was 11 penalties that really did you in. I think you had the interception and what looked like it was going to seal it, and it fumbled it, gave it back to him to go get the game-winning touchdown. How much is that a point of emphasis this week, just playing clean football like you did last week against Buffalo?
I feel like our Coach Vick especially, he emphasizes being disciplined and clean. You know what I'm saying? So for us, we feel like every week that's going to be an emphasis for us, being disciplined and being clean, which will ultimately help us play fast. So that's what we're thinking about.
I want to ask you about Gio. I know it's not your position, but obviously he's kind of one of those guys in the defense that's sort of an unsung hero that makes everybody else's job easier. Been here 5 years now, paid his dues. What do you respect about a guy like that that doesn't get headlines, but sticks around here when a lot of guys might have left?
For Gio, I feel like he's gotten so much better this year than any year I've been. We've been together 3 years now. I feel like he took a major step in just his mentality and preparation. I feel like he prepared like a pro, this offseason, took care of his body, and it's no surprise that he was the player of the game, our first game out. I expect him to keep going and keep getting better.
You mentioned he was player of the game without necessarily putting up a ton of stats, but what did they point out on film as to why he won that?
Those two QB sneaks, those two fourth down stops, they were those had almost everything to do with Gio's, getting right under the center, sliding under that pile if you watch closely, those are two of the biggest plays of the game in my opinion.
Yesterday, Coach Vick mentioned you guys as a front seven might not have been overly happy with your performance, just in terms of the lack of impact plays behind the line of scrimmage. But it felt like you guys did your job. When you rewatched it, were you happier and agree with him, or do you kind of feel like we need to penetrate the line of scrimmage more?
I feel like Coach Vick especially, he emphasizes that he feels like sacks are the most overrated stat in the game. In the sense that we can get pressure on a quarterback and make him uncomfortable, make him throw the ball away, which we did a lot of times on Saturday. People might not see the sacks, but see the pressures we had a bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? So obviously it's frustrating because you want to get sacks as a rusher, you want to get sacks, outside backers, D-line, but they gotta understand that getting pressure, making them throw the ball away gives us another chance to defend, and all you can really care about.
You had how many sacks in high school?
I don't remember exactly.
It was 40. It was like 40.
Something like that. Yeah.
You still feel those are overrated?
No. That's funny. Obviously, like I told you, man, I would love to get one, and I plan on getting multiple this week. But all you can do is just keep going and keep attacking and keep rushing.
I asked that because with Nick gone, people look to you and say, okay, you've got to be that guy on the edge.
Right.
But it's a different defense than it was last year, where that was kind of the playmaking spot of the defense, and you get to stand up, pin your ears back, and go. What changes for you in the 3-3-5 in terms of how much you can just really turn it loose and be an edge rusher, or do you have more responsibilities?
I feel like this year, especially in that 3-3-5, 3-2-6, whatever you want to call it, I'll have more opportunity. I don't really drop in the coverage in that. So, but then also, there's 5 linemen, 3 of us down. So, there can be more slide too and stuff like that. So, like I told you, just continuing to rush and continuing to, not get frustrated when things aren't going my way at first, and just continuing to just put like you said, pin your ears back and just keep going.
I know Cam Ward, everyone, makes this kind of matchup about your defense versus him. Is he really the engine that makes him go? Is this a case where you feel like we shut him down, we win the game?
Just first glance, in their game yesterday or Saturday, he, had almost 500 all-purpose yards. So obviously, big chunk of what they're doing, and we feel like if we can contain him and make him uncomfortable, get pressure on him, we'll have a lot of success in this game.
You guys did have a lot of success against him last year, held him in check. I think you picked him off twice too, if I'm not mistaken. What do you remember about what worked against him?
Making him uncomfortable. Getting a lot of pressure, being in his face. Nick did a great job of that game and just never stopping. I think he got his first, second, and third quarter or something like that. So just not get frustrated and just continuing to rush and continuing to just put pressure on those tackles and make them have to come block us.
I don't think it burned you last year, but you have to be careful about how you pressure him, specifically making sure you're staying in your lanes in case.
For sure. You
obviously don't want him extending plays outside the pocket.
Yeah, that's what he loves to do. I feel like he's his best when he's extending plays, scrambling, using his feet. He's great at throwing on the run. So when we get there, we gotta get there. And we gotta make him come. We gotta be in his face, and we gotta get him down.